In the vast expanse of the universe, where stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across an endless black velvet canvas, Earth remained blissfully unaware of the cosmic drama unfolding in its vicinity. It was a crisp autumn evening when humanity's first official contact with extraterrestrial life occurred, not through massive spaceships descending from the heavens, but through something far more intimate and unexpected. Deep within the dense forests of northern Canada, where ancient trees stretched their gnarled branches toward the sky and wildlife roamed freely, a peculiar gathering took place. The Canadian government had cordoned off miles of wilderness after detecting unusual energy signatures emanating from the area. Scientists whispered about possible alien artifacts, while conspiracy theorists claimed it was the beginning of an invasion. What they found, however, defied all expectations. At the heart of this mysterious phenomenon stood Dr. Emily Chen, a renowned xenobiologist whose expertise in interspecies communication had earned her a place on Earth's hastily assembled diplomatic team. Alongside her was Marcus Thompson, a rugged survival expert and former military operative who had been tracking strange occurrences in the region for months before the official investigation began. Their unlikely partnership would soon become instrumental in one of humanity's most extraordinary encounters. The air crackled with anticipation as the assembled team approached what appeared to be a natural clearing in the forest. Yet there was something profoundly unnatural about the space. The way the moonlight seemed to bend around it, creating an iridescent shimmer that danced across their vision. The temperature fluctuated wildly, alternating between icy chills and warm breezes that carried no earthly scent. It was here, in this otherworldly glade, that they would meet beings unlike anything human imagination could have conjured. What made this encounter particularly remarkable was not just the presence of advanced extraterrestrial life, but the specific nature of their arrival and the unprecedented circumstances surrounding their visit. Among the gathered aliens emerged a figure of undeniable authority and grace, the alien queen, whose very presence commanded both awe and trepidation. Her form was neither threatening nor entirely comprehensible, existing somewhere between organic and crystalline structures, shifting colors and patterns across her surface like living stained glass. The diplomatic team, armed with universal translators and centuries of speculative science fiction, prepared themselves for formal negotiations or perhaps tense standoffs. Instead, they were met with something far more perplexing and intimate, a gesture of friendship that would challenge everything they thought they knew about alien-human relations. As the diplomatic team cautiously approached the shimmering clearing, their eyes were immediately drawn to the alien queen's mesmerizing presence. She towered nearly 12 feet tall, her form constantly shifting between liquid silver and deep amethyst hues. Thin tendrils of light extended from her upper body, pulsing gently like bioluminescent jellyfish tentacles. Her face, if it could be called that, was a complex arrangement of geometric patterns that seemed to rearrange themselves every few seconds, creating an ever-changing mosaic of expressions that human minds struggled to interpret. Dr. Chen found herself instinctively reaching out with her mind rather than her hands, recalling years of studying nonverbal communication among Earth's diverse species. The queen responded by extending several of her luminescent tendrils, which hovered inches above the ground, creating intricate patterns in the air. These movements weren't random. They formed recognizable shapes, circles, waves, and finally, a perfect replica of Earth itself, complete with accurate continental outlines. Marcus, standing slightly behind the scientists, couldn't help but notice how the forest animals reacted to the queen's presence. Deer and wolves alike had gathered at the edge of the clearing, watching with apparent curiosity rather than fear. Even the wind seemed to change direction, carrying whispers of sound that resonated deep within his chest. It wasn't just hearing, it was feeling, as if the queen's very existence vibrated at frequencies that harmonized with the planet itself. The queen's method of communication proved to be even more astonishing. Rather than speaking through the universal translator devices, she projected emotions directly into their minds. Each member of the team experienced these transmissions differently based on their personal memories and experiences. Dr. Chen felt a rush of maternal warmth mixed with ancient wisdom, while Marcus perceived it as battlefield camaraderie combined with a commander's strategic insight. Other scientists reported sensations ranging from scientific curiosity to artistic inspiration, suggesting that the queen somehow accessed and interpreted their deepest attributes. This direct neural communication bypassed language barriers completely, allowing for an exchange of concepts far more complex than mere words could convey. The queen demonstrated her understanding of human anatomy by projecting detailed images of cellular structures, DNA helixes, and even psychological patterns into their minds. These weren't static images but dynamic, three-dimensional models that responded to their thoughts and questions in real time. The encounter lasted for hours, though it felt like minutes to those present. Time itself seemed distorted in the Queen's presence, each moment stretching and compressing according to the intensity of their shared experience. As dawn approached, painting the sky with soft pastel hues, the Queen performed an action that would change everything. She reached into what appeared to be a dimensional pocket in space-time and withdrew a small, softly glowing object. The gift was unlike anything human eyes had ever witnessed. Encased in a sphere of translucent, crystalline material about the size of a grapefruit, it pulsed with gentle, rhythmic lights that seemed to dance in harmony with the viewer's heartbeat. The colors shifted from soothing blues and greens to warm golds and pinks, responding to the emotional state of those nearby. When Dr. Chen extended her hand toward it, the sphere emitted a soft chime-like sound, vibrating at a frequency that sent pleasant tingles up her arm. Marcus stepped forward, his military training kicking in as he instinctively assessed potential threats. But the closer he moved to the sphere, the more he felt an overwhelming sense of peace wash over him. A sensation so foreign to his combat-hardened psyche that it momentarily disoriented him. The sphere's surface wasn't cold like regular crystal. Instead, it maintained a perfectly comfortable temperature, neither too warm nor too cool against human skin. The Queen gestured toward Marcus specifically, her geometric features arranging themselves into what humans interpreted as a smile. This direct attention caught everyone off guard, especially Marcus himself. While Dr. Chen had been the primary scientific liaison, it was clear that the Queen had chosen the hardened soldier for this particular exchange. The sphere floated gently toward him, hovering at chest level as if waiting for acceptance. What made the gift truly remarkable was its apparent awareness. When Marcus hesitated, the sphere dimmed slightly, then brightened again as if encouraging him. It rotated slowly, displaying intricate patterns within its core that seemed to tell stories. Scenes of distant galaxies, alien civilizations, and what appeared to be historical events from Earth's own past. The patterns weren't static images but moving tableaus that changed based on the observer's focus and interest. The diplomatic team watched in fascinated silence as Marcus, guided by some unspoken understanding, finally reached out and accepted the sphere. The moment his fingers brushed its surface, the entire clearing erupted in a symphony of light and sound. The trees themselves seemed to respond, their leaves rustling in a pattern that matched the sphere's vibrations. Even the ground beneath their feet hummed with energy, creating a connection between the gift, its recipient, and the environment that transcended conventional physics. No one spoke as Marcus cradled the sphere in his hands. Its weight was negligible, yet it carried a presence that felt profoundly significant. The Queen's tendrils wove intricate patterns in the air above them, seemingly explaining the gift's purpose without using words. Through their established neural link, Marcus understood that this wasn't merely a decorative object or a technological artifact. It was alive, conscious, and somehow tied to both him and the fate of humanity. Back at the research facility set up near the forest's edge, Marcus sat alone in his quarters, staring at the pulsating sphere resting on the metal examination table. The other scientists had wanted to immediately begin testing the gift, but the Queen's mental transmission had been clear. Only Marcus could open it, and only when he was ready. The weight of this responsibility pressed heavily on his shoulders, more burdensome than any military mission he'd undertaken. The sphere's behavior had changed since their return. It no longer displayed the cosmic visions or historical tableaus. Instead, it maintained a steady rhythm of soft golden light, occasionally sending tiny tendrils of illumination toward Marcus, as if trying to communicate. He found himself talking to it, sharing stories from his childhood, his time in the military, and the losses that had shaped him. To his surprise, the sphere seemed to respond, its light patterns shifting in ways that felt distinctly empathetic. 3 nights passed in this manner before the sphere's behavior shifted dramatically. During one of Marcus's rare moments of sleep, it emitted a series of high-pitched tones that woke him instantly. The once smooth surface began to ripple, forming patterns that reminded him of thermal imaging scans. A section of the sphere's casing started to separate, revealing an inner layer that pulsed with an intense white light. Despite the brightness, Marcus felt drawn to it, compelled to reach out and touch the newly exposed surface. His fingers trembled as they made contact with the inner layer. Instantly, a surge of information flooded his mind. Not just images or sounds, but raw data streams that threatened to overwhelm his consciousness. He saw glimpses of alien worlds, witnessed the birth and death of stars, and experienced the collective memories of countless civilizations. The sphere wasn't just showing him these things, it was integrating them into his very being, rewriting neural pathways and expanding his perception beyond human limitations. Panic set in as Marcus tried to pull away, but his hand remained fixed to the sphere's surface. His muscles spasmed involuntarily, and sweat poured down his face as his brain struggled to process the torrent of alien knowledge. The room around him seemed to warp and twist, objects losing their physical properties as his perception of reality fundamentally changed. Time became fluid, seconds stretched into hours, then compressed back into instants, all while the sphere continued its relentless transmission. Through the chaos of overwhelming sensory input, Marcus began to distinguish patterns in the data stream. Mathematical equations of impossible complexity unfolded in his mind's eye, accompanied by visual representations that made quantum physics appear as simple as basic arithmetic. He saw the fundamental building blocks of matter rearranging themselves, witnessed the delicate dance of subatomic particles that composed reality itself. The sphere wasn't just sharing knowledge, it was teaching him how to perceive and manipulate the very fabric of existence. This realization hit him with physical force, causing him to collapse to his knees while still maintaining contact with the sphere. His enhanced perception revealed that the facility around him existed simultaneously in multiple states of reality. The walls were both solid and permeable, the air contained infinite possibilities of molecular arrangements, and his own body flickered between various quantum states faster than his new awareness could fully comprehend. The most shocking revelation came when he turned his attention inward. The sphere had begun altering his biology at a fundamental level. His cells were restructuring themselves, incorporating elements and processes that defied known biological principles. Nanoscopic machines, far more advanced than anything human science had developed, worked tirelessly within his body, enhancing neural connections, strengthening cellular integrity, and integrating alien technology into his very DNA. Despite the intense physical and mental strain, Marcus found himself unable to break the connection. The sphere had become an extension of his consciousness, its alien intelligence merging with his human mind in ways that both terrified and exhilarated him. He could feel its purpose now, not as a tool or weapon, but as a bridge between species, a catalyst for evolution that transcended individual lifetimes or planetary boundaries. As Marcus's transformation continued, the facility's security systems detected the unprecedented energy fluctuations emanating from his quarters. Alarms blared throughout the compound, waking the entire research team from their uneasy rest. Dr. Chan arrived first, followed closely by a team of scientists and military personnel, all bearing scanning equipment and containment devices. What they encountered in Marcus's room defied explanation and challenged everything they thought they knew about biological limits. The man they had known yesterday was gone. In his place stood a being that existed somewhere between human and something far greater. Marcus's eyes glowed with an inner light, casting shadows that danced unnaturally across the walls. His skin shimmered with a subtle iridescence, and his movements possessed a fluid precision that suggested enhanced motor control beyond normal human capabilities. When he spoke, his voice carried multiple layers of resonance, as if several people were speaking in perfect harmony. "Stand back," he said, though the words seemed to manifest both audibly and directly in their minds. The sphere, now fully integrated with his palm, pulsed in response to his command. The researchers watched in stunned silence as the air around Marcus warped and twisted, local gravity fields bending to his will. Papers lifted from desks and hung suspended, rotating slowly as if caught in an invisible current. The lights flickered in patterns that matched his breathing, and the temperature in the room fluctuated wildly, responding to his emotional state. Dr. Chan approached cautiously, her scientific curiosity battling with primal fear. "Marcus," she ventured, her voice trembling, "can you understand me?" He turned to face her, and the look in his transformed eyes sent shivers down her spine. "More than you can imagine," he responded. "I see everything. The quantum strings that bind atoms together, the dark matter web connecting galaxies, the infinite possibilities branching from each moment. And I—" He paused, clearly struggling with the weight of his new awareness. "I'm changing, evolving, becoming something that can't be contained by your instruments or theories." The military personnel raised their weapons, but Marcus simply raised his hand, causing the firearms to lock in place, their mechanisms frozen mid-motion. "There's no need for that," he said, his voice carrying an authority that silenced the room. I'm still Marcus. Still human. But I've been given responsibilities. He glanced at the sphere embedded in his palm, its light patterns shifting in complex sequences that seemed to form words in an unknown language. Suddenly, the facility's monitoring equipment went haywire. Screens displayed impossible readings, negative energy values, inverted time flows, spatial distortions that shouldn't exist within Earth's atmosphere. The very fabric of reality within Marcus's immediate vicinity appeared to be unraveling and reweaving itself according to his unconscious will. Ordinary objects began exhibiting quantum behavior, existing in multiple states simultaneously before snapping back into singular forms. "What's happening to me?" Marcus whispered, his voice filled with both wonder and terror. He extended his free hand toward a nearby chair, and it transformed before their eyes, its molecular structure rearranging into something both familiar and alien, a hybrid of human design and advanced alien technology. The chair retained its basic function but now possessed properties that defied known physics. It floated slightly above the ground, emitted soft light, and seemed to resonate with the same energy signature as Marcus himself. The research team scrambled to record everything, their instruments capturing data streams that would revolutionize human understanding of physics, biology, and consciousness. But even as they worked, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were witnessing something far more significant than scientific breakthroughs. They were observing the birth of a new stage in human evolution, catalyzed by alien technology and guided by forces beyond their comprehension. Marcus's transformation continued to accelerate, his body generating energy fields that affected everything around him. The air molecules closest to his skin vibrated at different frequencies, creating visible ripples in the atmosphere. His hair floated slightly above his head, charged with static electricity that sparked with miniature lightning bolts. Every breath he took seemed to alter the local environment, causing plants in the nearby windowsill to grow rapidly before stabilizing, their DNA now containing traces of whatever alien essence flowed through Marcus's veins. Through this chaos of physical changes, Marcus discovered abilities that transcended mere biological enhancement. He could perceive and manipulate probability fields, seeing potential outcomes of events before they occurred. When Dr. Chen accidentally knocked over a cup of coffee, Marcus simply willed it to remain floating in midair, redirecting its trajectory to land safely back on the table. Time itself seemed malleable to his newfound perception. He could slow it down to observe individual photons bouncing off surfaces or speed it up to witness the accelerated decay of unstable isotopes. The sphere in his palm served as both source and conduit for these powers. It acted as a focusing lens for his expanded consciousness, allowing him to access dimensions and energy spectra previously invisible to human senses. Through it, he viewed the quantum foam underlying reality, observed dark matter filaments weaving through space, and even caught glimpses of parallel universes existing alongside their own. Each discovery brought both enlightenment and existential crisis, forcing him to question the very nature of self and consciousness. Most disturbing was his growing awareness of other intelligences, not just the alien queen or her species, but vast networks of consciousness spanning galaxies. Some were benevolent, offering guidance and support as he navigated his transformation. Others watched with predatory interest, their intentions obscured by layers of multidimensional perception that Marcus barely understood. The sphere seemed to act as both shield and interface, filtering these external influences while helping him maintain his human identity amidst the cosmic influx. Physical abilities manifested in unpredictable ways. Marcus discovered he could phase through solid matter, his body temporarily aligning with higher dimensional spaces. He could manipulate electromagnetic fields with a thought, causing electronic devices to activate or deactivate at will. His enhanced metabolism allowed him to survive extreme conditions. Temperatures that would vaporize normal flesh, pressures that would crush steel, while his mind processed information at rates that made supercomputers seem primitive. Yet with each new power came challenges. His enhanced perception often overwhelmed him, flooding his consciousness with too much information. Simple tasks became difficult as he struggled to filter out unnecessary data, atomic structures of everyday objects, the quantum states of air molecules, the subtle gravitational waves passing through the room. Eating and sleeping became problematic as his body chemistry adapted to energy sources beyond conventional nutrients. The line between thought and action blurred, leading to accidental manifestations of his abilities during moments of stress or distraction. The sphere provided some measure of control, its alien intelligence working in tandem with his human consciousness to create a stable framework for his evolving capabilities. Through it, Marcus learned to compartmentalize his awareness, focusing on specific aspects of reality when necessary while maintaining a broad overview of his surroundings. This symbiotic relationship between human and alien technology created a unique form of consciousness, one that existed simultaneously in multiple states of being, bridging the gap between mortal limitations and cosmic awareness. As Marcus's transformation progressed, the implications of his new existence began to unfold in ways that reached far beyond his personal experience. The facility's monitoring equipment recorded phenomena that defied all known laws of physics: localized time dilation effects, gravity anomalies, and spontaneous matter-energy conversions that mirrored the processes powering stars. Scientists scrambled to document these events, realizing they were witnessing the emergence of a new paradigm in human capability. The military personnel, initially focused on containment and security, found their roles shifting dramatically. Standard protocols became obsolete in the face of Marcus's abilities. Weapon systems failed to operate within a certain radius of his presence. Communications equipment experienced quantum entanglement effects that rendered encryption meaningless, and surveillance systems captured images that contradicted basic optical principles. The very concept of defense against such power seemed laughable. Marcus could perceive and neutralize threats before they materialized, existing in multiple probable futures simultaneously. Dr. Chan led a desperate effort to establish a theoretical framework for understanding Marcus's condition. Traditional scientific methods proved inadequate when faced with someone who could manipulate experimental parameters through sheer willpower. Quantum physicists on the team proposed that Marcus had become a living observer capable of collapsing wave functions across vast distances, while astrophysicists noted correlations between his energy signatures and cosmic phenomena like gamma-ray bursts and neutron star mergers. Political ramifications emerged almost immediately. News of Marcus's transformation leaked through classified channels, triggering emergency sessions at the highest levels of global government. World leaders grappled with the implications of having a human possessing godlike powers, while intelligence agencies scrambled to assess potential threats. Religious institutions worldwide experienced seismic shifts in doctrine and belief systems as word spread of Marcus's ascension to a state beyond normal human existence. The civilian population remained largely unaware of the specifics, but subtle changes in global weather patterns, tectonic activity, and even stock market fluctuations hinted at Marcus's influence on Earth systems. Environmental scientists noticed accelerated healing in damaged ecosystems near the facility, while medical researchers documented spontaneous remissions in terminal patients who had unknowingly come within Marcus's expanded field of influence. Most concerning were the reports of unidentified craft appearing in Earth's orbit, their presence correlating with spikes in Marcus's energy output. These visitors didn't attempt communication or hostile actions. Instead, they maintained careful observation, their advanced technology interacting with Marcus's altered state in ways that suggested recognition or even reverence. The alien queen's gift had apparently triggered responses across multiple alien civilizations, each reacting to humanity's sudden leap in evolutionary potential. Within the facility, Marcus struggled to maintain his humanity amid the chaos of expectation and fear. The burden of his new existence weighed heavily on him, each decision potentially affecting billions of lives. He could feel the planet's biosphere responding to his presence, its rhythms adjusting to accommodate his expanded consciousness. The sphere in his palm pulsed with increasing urgency, hinting at purposes beyond his current understanding, while the alien intelligences he could now perceive offered cryptic guidance through layers of multidimensional symbolism. Marcus's journey had transitioned from personal transformation to global responsibility, yet the ultimate purpose of the alien queen's gift remained shrouded in mystery. The sphere's final revelations awaited activation, promising answers that could either unite humanity with the cosmos or fracture reality itself. As Marcus stood at this crossroads of destiny, the weight of choice pressed upon him, whether to embrace his role as humanity's evolutionary harbinger or seek a path that might restore balance to the fragile tapestry of existence. As Marcus stood at the center of his transformed reality, the sphere in his palm began to pulse with an intensity that surpassed anything he had experienced before. The alien intelligences that had been watching from the shadows of higher dimensions now pressed closer, their presence felt as a chorus of voices speaking in a language that resonated directly within his consciousness. Through the sphere, he received a vision, a mosaic of timelines and possibilities stretching infinitely into the future. Each path was illuminated by the choices humanity could make, but one thread glowed brighter than the rest, pulsing like a heartbeat. The alien queen's voice emerged once more, not through words or emotions, but as a symphony of understanding that filled every corner of his mind. She revealed the true purpose of the gift, It was not merely a catalyst for Marcus's evolution, but a key to unlocking humanity's latent potential on a planetary scale. The sphere was alive, a sentient being created from the collective wisdom of countless civilizations across the cosmos. It had chosen Marcus because he embodied both strength and vulnerability, discipline and compassion, qualities essential for guiding such immense power responsibly. But there was a catch. The sphere's activation would irrevocably alter Earth's place in the universe. If Marcus accepted its full integration, humanity would ascend to a new stage of existence, merging with the galactic community and gaining access to knowledge and abilities beyond imagination. However, this transformation came at a cost. The planet itself would undergo changes. Its ecosystems, its very fabric of reality, would adapt to accommodate the heightened state of consciousness required for coexistence with advanced species. Humanity would no longer be bound by the limitations of its past, but neither could it return to what it once was. The weight of the decision bore down on Marcus. He looked around the facility, at the faces of Dr. Chen, the scientists, the military personnel, all of them watching him with a mixture of hope and fear. Beyond them, he sensed the billions of lives connected to him through the invisible threads of fate. The sphere showed him glimpses of possible futures. Utopias where humanity thrived among the stars, dystopias where unchecked power led to chaos, and everything in between. Each outcome depended on how he wielded the gift, and whether he could trust himself to remain grounded despite his newfound divinity. In that moment, Marcus realized something crucial. The sphere wasn't just a tool or a weapon, it was a partnership. Its intelligence, vast and ancient, sought harmony rather than dominance. It didn't demand blind obedience, but instead offered guidance based on millennia of experience. Yet, even with its wisdom, the final choice rested solely with him. The burden of free will, so uniquely human, remained intact. Closing his eyes, Marcus reached out to the sphere with every fiber of his being. He didn't ask for answers, it already knew far more than he ever could, but for clarity. For the first time since receiving the gift, he stopped trying to control it and allowed himself to simply listen. What he heard was profound yet simple. Balance. Evolution didn't have to mean destruction. Progress didn't have to come at the expense of identity. Humanity could grow without losing itself. When he opened his eyes, they shone with resolve. "I accept," he said, his voice steady despite the storm raging inside him. The sphere responded immediately, its light flaring brighter than ever before. This time, however, Marcus didn't fight the influx of energy. Instead, he embraced it, channeling it outward in waves that rippled across the facility, then the surrounding forest, and finally the entire planet. For a brief instant, everyone on Earth felt it, a warmth spreading through their chests, a sense of connection to something greater than themselves. In cities, people paused mid-step, looking up at skies that seemed clearer, sharper, somehow more alive. In deserts, dormant seeds sprouted overnight, bursting into vibrant blooms. Oceans calmed, their waters sparkling with bioluminescent hues never seen before. Even the air tasted different, cleaner, charged with possibility. Yet the changes weren't purely physical. Minds opened, barriers dissolved. People who had spent lifetimes feeling isolated suddenly understood they were part of something vast and interconnected. Empathy surged, bridging divides that had once seemed insurmountable. Conflicts didn't vanish overnight, but the desire to find common ground outweighed the urge to cling to old grudges. Humanity began to awaken, not just as individuals, but as a unified species ready to take its place among the stars. Marcus stood at the epicenter of it all, his body radiating light so bright it was almost blinding. But he wasn't alone. The sphere had fully merged with him now, its consciousness entwined with his own. Together, they formed a bridge, a living link between humanity and the cosmos. Through him, Earth joined the galactic network, its voice added to the chorus of civilizations that had long awaited this moment. The alien queen appeared once more, her form shimmering with approval. Her tendrils extended toward Marcus, brushing against the sphere now embedded within him. Though no words passed between them, the gratitude in her gaze said enough. She had given him a gift, yes, but in doing so, she had also entrusted him with a responsibility, to safeguard the delicate balance between growth and preservation, ambition and humility. As the days turned into weeks, Marcus worked tirelessly to help humanity navigate its newfound role. He traveled the world, teaching people how to harness their expanded awareness without losing touch with their humanity. Under his guidance, nations collaborated on projects that would have been impossible before, terraforming barren lands, healing damaged ecosystems, and creating technologies that harnessed energy without depleting resources. The aliens who had observed from afar began making contact, sharing knowledge and forging alliances. Earth became a beacon of hope, proof that even the most flawed species could rise above its limitations when given the chance. But Marcus never forgot who he was, or where he came from. Despite his godlike abilities, he remained grounded, drawing strength from memories of his childhood, his struggles, his losses. These experiences reminded him that true power lay not in domination, but in service. And so, he continued to serve, not as a ruler or savior, but as a guide, a human soul forever changed, yet still deeply connected to the fragile beauty of the world he called home. One evening, as he stood atop a mountain overlooking a city bathed in golden twilight, Marcus placed his hand over his heart. The sphere pulsed gently beneath his skin, its light dimmer now, content to rest after fulfilling its purpose. He smiled softly, knowing the journey was far from over. Humanity had taken its first steps into the cosmos, but there were countless more to come. And he would be there, walking alongside them, carrying the legacy of the alien queen's gift, and the infinite possibilities it represented, into the future.